Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Brawler, where I decided to check out and continue looking for Captain Luck here before continuing on with the Black Book, though I will be returning to the Black Book after this segment of this quest line. And we'll be finishing up with Captain Luck here when we head underground. But for now, hello there, Othros.
We should do what we must, and leave this land quickly.
Well met. I cannot say how good it is to see a friendly face out here. Did you take note of the several hatchways positioned along the area? They lead down in the crawlways amongst the forges. We are given the tiresome and dangerous charge of opening them in search of, well, I can't say why, but the captain felt sure that some treasure or artifact or powerful weapon might lie within. In truth, as we went on, he talked about little else. At every bend, under every potsherd, he felt something marvelous must lie. Would you help me with our task? We have done some, and have not gone much further to go. Alright, I'll check out a couple of these. And of course, you can predict pretty much what's going to happen here. Let's go to this unopened hatch. Let's open up the hatch. Oh, look! Well, no, definitely not a friendly dwarf. But this is Mordor. What did you expect? Right, well, that's... Well, so now we've got to open up the unopened and occasionally run to one of these enforcers here who I believe I still have a quest for them. Let's get rid of this fright. Yeah, I've got 10 more of them to go. And another one of these hatchways. Hiya! No treasure here. Nothing in those hatches except for goblins and dwarves.
Hey.
No treasure either then. Only goblins and the like. Aye, that's the same rotten luck that we've been having. Orders are orders though, and if we keep at it, I'm sure things will turn around. Alarmed, you tell them that you doubt that there is any treasure down there, and what they're doing is foolhardy and dangerous. Yeah, there is that.
Aye.
Othros looks relieved. You really think so? I thought it was a kind of madness, but then the captain is so clever and self-sure, and as times went on, it seemed that, after all, it was the reason for our search party, right? But now I feel as if some fog has been lifted. You've given me a courage to trust my eyes and heart. What a relief. Right, Mellor? Oh, will you help us just once more then? I think that we should shut back some of the hatches that we've opened before an overwhelming number of orcs and goblins come scuttling out. Alright, fine. Let's close some hatches now. Open hatches, close hatches. I must have closed back up the hatches that I've opened up. Well, I suppose that... Oh. Oh, hi there. Yeah, more goblins are coming out. I know. What a surprise. Hatches closed.
This is a dark place.
You have my
dreary place.
You have my thanks. We will return to the foothold at all speed, I assure you. But first, there is aught that we could do for you? Well, if you could tell me where the captain went, it would help. Let's see. This is more might than vitality. This is... What's the difference between evade, resistance, +2 light? Oh, evade and resistance would be better, I guess, for a brawler than block.
This is a dark place. A dreary place.
A dark and dreary place. And, oh my goodness gracious, what have we got here? Well, I need to start collecting light in any case, so I guess I will have to take one of those. Now, where were we? Oh yes, you should know where the captain is. He set off east, you see, after leaving us here, and he was gone for some time. Then, after half a day later, we saw him marching back along the road to where our heart slept, only to sink again. They came not to us, nor were they returned to the foothold, no, we watched them, and they headed away down to the central road and turned up the rising northward pass. If you would find them, you'll follow them along there. Alright, so I have to search along that path, but that is going to be for later, because for now, we are going to be heading out to Mordor in order to continue along with the Black Book of Mordor. I appear to have found Mordor. Ah, what a lovely place to go to. You're in Mordor, it's raining. Ah, wonderful morning we've got here. You have found the forges of Mordor, where Sauron equipped his armies, yes, into an enemy armory. Ah, Rogreen, hello.
How fared you on the journey into Udun?
I must admit that I faced more foes than I believed that I would, but I proved stronger than they. I took one weapon from one of the orcs that I slew, and noted its craftsmanship. I would not have expected such fine blade in the hands of one such as he. Perhaps he was a commander of some sort? Do the orcs organize their armies and fighting companies in the same fashion as men of Gondor? These questions are pointless. What matters is this: he's dead and I'm not, and I have come to the forges from which this sword may have been made. Let us assure that no more of this kind comes forth to trouble us. Push over the anvils. Really? Push over the anvils. Oh, and while I'm at it, let's take these newly forged weapons. And what do I do with these? Destroy them! Well, that at least makes sense of some sort. Let's see. What else have we got? Well, I've also got... looks like we've got a forge worker here. And I need to kill some of these. That. Go. Well, it looks like I am. Render anvils difficult. Apparently that's not an anvil I can make difficult to use. Well, alright. I guess I'll just have to kill some forge workers. Many forge workers apparently need to be killed. Trolls? Hey! Wasn't expecting to have to fight two of them at the same time, but it looks like the first one graciously died before the second one arrived. How nice of him. Well, right, maybe he's not nice after all. Ah! First anvil. Just tip it over. Really? That's how I make it ineffective? Okay. I'm just wondering though about the relative weight of a hobbit compared to that anvil and how I'm able to push it over. But no matter. We've got anvils to push. We've got forge workers to slay. We've got weapons to destroy. We've got work to do. Ah, there's a quest ring on this boss right over here. Something tells me he doesn't want to just talk. Nope, he doesn't want to just talk. He wants to just fight. Well, let's try that. Well, get quest, finish quest. One of those quests. Let's see. Now I think there's supposed to be a treasure cache. First of many of those around here. One of those deeds that I will never finish. Just have to deal with that and with that. Oh, yes. And a few more weapons. Now, isn't there supposed to be a rare treasure chest around here somewhere? Or is that just my imagination? No, that's a rusty chest. Hey, have you seen a rare chest around here? Nope. Goblins, they're not any help. Okay, rusty. Yeah, nothing in here. Really? You just want to die? Completed. Forge Workers of Udun. New deed. More Forge Workers of Udun. Oh, fun. Alright, I need to kill more of you. Well, of course, that's just for a deed, not for a quest, so. But I had a feeling that tree was going to be popping up out of my head in a moment. There you go. Ah! Destroyed. Maybe in combination with the rain, those anvils will rust.
Done, my friend.
Let's see those orcs try to forge new weapons now! We have at least made it more difficult for them to do so, if not outright impossible. While you worked to accomplish this task, I stood on the cliff's edge and beheld a rather large movement of orcs and trolls moving from the south to north to the floor of the valley. Perhaps you can see what they're up to? It is really nothing good, that's for sure. Oh, and kill a few enemies along the way. Of course, kill a few enemies along the way. Because that's what I do. Defeat foes in Udun. That sounds like a relatively easy thing to accomplish. Because there are plenty of foes in Udun. And I'm going to be running into all the way up to this parade ground I'm supposed to be examining. Yep. Not the toughest post to have to worry about. Guess we'll just have to head out this way. And eventually we will run into the grounds. I think that this is the right place. Well, there are trolls here. Hey! There you go. Now, why is there a goblin with a ring on his head right over here? Oh, it's a spying goblin. That makes it hard to be a spy if you got a ring on top of your head. Ah, 8 of them. Well, we'll see if I ever get that one done, because that means noticing 8 spies as I go along. And if I remember correctly, I don't think I've really actually finished that one all that often, which tells me I'm not very good at finding spies. Now, where was I? Oh yes, I was looking for signs of the ground. Search the basin where the group of orcs traveled. Northeast. Oh, actually, how about if I set guide focus right over there so that I hit the right dinky little spot as I'm going through here. A number of dead orcs and trolls lie here. What has caused the infighting? Do they really need a reason for infighting? I don't think so. Your turn. I don't think they need any reason at all. Well, back to Rogren. It appears that they killed each other.
Did you find the orcs and trolls I saw from the height?
Well, that's very like trolls. I do not doubt that they would pose more of a threat if they could work together, but their penchant for squabbling leaves them vulnerable to their own fellows. They're weak-minded creatures, and in the absence of Sauron, they don't know what to do. Still, we should not underestimate them, for they can pose a threat to us in great enough numbers. Oh, that reminds me. Did you see Anath while you were traveling? No. Well, I climbed up here with him, but he left shortly afterwards and has not returned. I hope he's all right. Well, Based on his history, I guess he went over to Durthang.
I fear for Onoth.
Yes, as we traveled to Udun, he spoke to me of his ancestors, the Thondream, and told me all about their history. He holds in his heart the grief of their deaths, though most of them died more than 1,000 years ago. He desired to go to the fortress of Durthang, which was the watch point, and reclaim it from any orcs that possess it. He is going to go to Durthang and reclaim it single-handedly. I thought that they were courageous words, but as I look out to the dark skies over Gorgoroth, especially dark because of this rain, I wonder if there was a touch of the fool in them. Onoth may be in the right, but he's one man only, and Durthang could be filled with orcs. Oh yes, you must find him and see if he still lives and try to dissuade him from his course. I told you before, I desire wealth and treasure, and I do not understand those who seek anything else. The course of Onoth strikes me now as foolish to the extreme. I think right now searching for treasure in this area is foolish to the extreme, but then that's my personal opinion. Well, I suppose it's over to the cruel history of Durthang as opposed to Durthang. Durthang, they sort of changed the name over the years. Well, I need to find him outside of Durthang, and of course... Oh, hi there. Sorry, I took a wrong turn and decided to kill you. Yes, I was... Let's see. Where was I supposed to go? Oh, yes. That was... Here it is. Yes, Durthang, I believe, is what it was called in the past, and Durthang is what it's called now, simply because they like to change names a little bit in order to make things nasty, right? Here he is.
Careful, friend. I have already drawn the ire of the orcs.
Be careful, I've already drawn the ire of these orcs, and they have sent a number of arrows my way. I returned the favor and slew 2 of the beasts from great range. They're remaining watchful. This was once Durthang, the fortress from which the Thondream kept watch over Udun. It is called Durthang now, in mockery of its original name. That is another insult from me to avenge, and I will do it! Would you hear the tale of the Thondream? I would recount it to you. Alright, fine. I guess I might as well find out the story. What's it all about?
My tale begins more than 1,000 years ago, when the watch on Mordor had already begun to fail.
I have heard tales of the bravery of the Thondream for all my life. They were a shining light in Gondor's goodness, blazing within the shadows of Mordor. See them now where they stand, defiant and bold. I can see it so clearly, Pine Punch. Durthang, the Black Shield, proud fortress of the Thondream. The Black Shield, okay. It has been assailed by many times, but it still stands in defiance of Mordor. I see the features of the men whose names my family honors to this day. Banor the Steadfast, who never speaks falsely. Nanhad the Quick, a fighter of unmatched speed. And most clearly of all, Halanon, from whom I trace my lineage. We must not despair. That is the weapon of the enemy. Oh, actually, that is Hanan's shield that he carries. Yes, of course. In Gondor today, he is known by another name. Oh? The Survivor. Well, we can guess what he survived. 1 year before the downfall of Durthang, assassins crept into the towers at Miranan. Every man of Gondor within the Morannon was slain. Banar! We're cut off from Gondor. No one can reach us. Then we are alone. The morale of the defenders flags with these tidings. I guess they would. Cut off from allies. King Ernil tries to send reinforcements to Durthang, but he cannot pass the Black Gate. The Thandrim do not know this, of course. They believe themselves to be abandoned. Food stores run low, and hundreds fall to starvation. There are distasteful rumors, but I don't believe them. I have tarried over long in telling of the story. Let's hasten to the end. Alright, let's, okay, fine. On the onset of winter, few only of the Thandrim survive. That is when the forces of Mordor came once again to Durthang. Up above, the flying beast returns! And we've got the grim Southron and Ugrachor. Oh yeah, what a nice pair. 3 only there were, but they are figures out of nightmares. 2 of the beings we have come to know as a Nazgul, the ring raids of Sauron. Oh, there are 2 Nazgul there? Well, see, I see a Grim Southron, and I see Urukhor. I don't know where the third one is. Alright. The third may have been a man once, but through the foul sorceries of his master in the Dark Tower, he has become something else. He is Urukhor, the captain of the pit. He comes now to Durthang with an offer. What do you want, Urukhor? State your business and go. Where are the rest of your men? This can't be all that remain. There are more within the keep. What do you want? These men can barely stand. Your supply of food must be gone, or nearly so. I am moved to pity. You cannot think to hold this fortress any longer. Allow me to grant you this boon in recognition of your proud defiance. Surrender to me now. Ha! You're a fool if you think we would. It might come back in a day with the same offer. I might come back in a month or in a year. Will you still be alive to accept my offer? Surrender to me now, and I will grant you safe passage back through the gate. The fortress is lost. Grant me this place, and you need not perish in its defense. Should they have refused? Every man there knew Urukhor was a liar, but the pit of despair into which they had fallen could not be surmounted. They had been hardy men once, but a year of starvation and fear must have tested their toll. No doubt their fear was made stronger by the presence of the Nazgul, but I can understand the draw of even the faintest of hopes in the dark pit. The Thandrim surrendered to Urukhor. Durthang was lost. So what happened when they reached Ithilien? The Thandrim cast aside their weapons, and beneath Urukhor's watchful gaze, they marched to the Morannon, now held by the orcs. The gates opened. 60 men, all that remained of the Thandrim, passed through the gate. At a signal from Urukhor, the archers on the walls filled the air with death. Oh well, all the Thundering were slain, save one. The survivor, I presume? Why, you vile creature! They passed the Black Gate, unharmed. I promised nothing afterwards. Why then let me live? Go to your white city. Tell them a new captain rules the pit. Oh boy. That is the story of the Thundream, Pine Punch. Only Halanon survived, and his account is kept in the archives of Minas Tirith. It is Trenarn Bronan, the survivor's tale. I say the tale is ended, but it is not truly so. Halanon's descendants, the sons of the survivor, did not forget Thundream. Neither did Urukor forget them. The years and the centuries passed. From time to time, scouts from the White City will find that Urukor had been in Gondor. He has left one of the cloven shields of the Thundream behind. They were reminders of his cruelty. And even now, 1,000 years later, he leaves them still. So that's where your shield came from, I presume. One of the cloven shields. Now, you know the tale. A grim tale.
And so it was that only one of the Thundream came alive out of Mordor that day.
Halanon survived, but he was ever changed, and he swore to avenge his fallen friends and kin. He never did, but on his deathbed he asked his sons to remember what had happened at Durthang, and to swear that they would do what he had not. But the years passed, and the sons became fathers, and their sons became fathers, and they told the story of the Thundream, but they did nothing to avenge them. It seemed that Mordor, like Urukor, will escape judgment. Anna's eyes were lit by a bright fire. But then it happened, Pine Punch. The host of the West arose and defeated Sauron's armies in battle. The borders of Mordor were breached. Sauron was destroyed. Can this be anything other than the vengeance of the Thundream, long delayed, but finally delivered? Probably a great deal was avenged on this one. Oh, we get some... I guess we want that one.
Urukor betrayed the Thundream more than 1,000 years ago. But my heart tells me that he lives still.
I suppose he does. Oh, I still got Hootbolt equipment on. Yeah. Urukor betrayed the Thundream more than 1,000 years ago, but my heart tells me that he still lives, either through some dark art of Sauron's or some other vile sorcery. Whatever the means of his persistence, I am glad of it, for it means that he will know who is responsible for his undoing. But worry not, I have not abandoned my caution, as I know Rogrim feared. I do not want to ruin this with haste. I have seen orcs on the walls of Durthang, but not so many as must have been stationed here during the war. I think Durthang does not have as many defenders as the orcs want us to think. Let us enter the fortress and see what's going on inside, Pine Punch. Defeat enemies inside Durthang, and if there are prisoners in the dungeons, we should set them free. They may know where I can find Ugrokor. So we need to go inside the fortress. Well, at least they'll be out of the rain. And that's where we'll be in the next episode of Piney Plays the Brawler.